Hi, everybody. I just had to put a quick video out today because I've had a few people contact me this morning and say, there's some intense energy going on. Is there any way that you can talk about it? And so we've got the new moon in Scorpio and Uranus is in Taurus. And so whenever we have a Scorpio planet that we're dealing with, there tends to be high emotions. There tends to be things that we kind of put on the back burner. And so now they're coming up, and Scorpio's not really that nice of a planet in the sense that we get to deal with these emotions that we've been suppressing. And so with that being said, when we get Taurus in there, it says, let's comfort ourselves. Taurus is a planet of Venus. And so that planet governs a lot of love connections. It governs a lot of, let's pull out the deceit and bring in the light for some truth here. And let's allow people to really understand themselves on a deeper level. And so with that being said, I say be careful this weekend and the next couple of days, because when Scorpio comes into play here, it asks that we verbalize our truth. It asks that we stop being passive about the things that we say or how we direct our energy towards others. And so Scorpio isn't that nice to us, but there is another side to this that we tend to forget about. And what is that? That's us just being in the present moment. It's us understanding that we do have to voice our truth, that all these years of suppressing those emotions, well, we have the opportunity now to heal those emotions that we've been suppressing all along. And so Uranus and Taurus kind of pushes that envelope a little bit and says, speak your truth. So you might find that there's a bunch of people out there that are expressing their truth, and it might come out a little abrasive. It might come out on an undertone of emotion. And so with that being said, we have to understand that Taurus is the love. And so it's finding love for ourselves, finding love for others, and identifying what is my truth? What is it that I've been suppressing that I really need to speak out about? And so, you know, once this new moon hits, a lot of people are going to be verbalizing some very unexpected things. And so when we're dealing with Scorpio, we have to understand that it's an intense moon, that it's usually fiery and very passionate. And, you know, it's those suppressed emotions that are fiery and passionate that we've been holding on for quite some time. Well, those things are going to come to light, and they're going to allow us to be in a situation where maybe there's others that can understand that truth, or maybe bring some compassion to those emotions that that person has been feeling. And so I like to say thank you, Taurus, and thank you, Scorpio, for making it really intense for us, because sometimes there's those of us that are holding these suppressed emotions, and what that's doing is it's showing up in the body as a disease. And so we want to deal with these things. We don't want them to show up in the body as a disease, and 10 years later you wonder why you have this disease, and there's an emotional component to it that you never dealt with. And so I like to say, Scorpio, thank you for making this very intense and allowing us to verbalize our truth. There's a lot of us out there that are finding our way out of that passivity factor and moving into a state of more awareness for ourselves. And how do I speak my truth? How do I have other people understand me and engage me in a way that softens my heart or allows me to heal in a softer, more loving way? And so that's basically what Scorpio and Taurus, those planets working in relation to each other, is really going to identify a lot of heart-seated things that we've been suppressing and holding back, that we were scared to talk about before. And Scorpio is going to say, well, now you have the opportunity to voice those truths, to understand your pain and suffering in a whole different way than you've ever experienced before. And so, You know, Taurus is that loving planet that is nurturing and kind and very mothering. And so, you know, with Scorpio bringing out that intensity, well, Taurus is going to have that softer undertone to it so that we can feel a little bit better about voicing these truths that we've been suppressing for quite some time. And so I just wanted to give you guys kind of a little backdrop. I have some notes here that I'm going to kind of read off a little bit. Because, you know, Scorpio is the most emotionally courageous sign in the zodiac. And so that was another thing that I want to kind of voice here a little bit. And, you know, we're going to create an upset here in the next few days, possibly starting tonight all the way to Tuesday evening. And so what I mean by causing some upset is that there's things shifting, that there's things that are going to have a chance to move out into play so that we gain awareness, so that we can bring lots of healing and interject a lot of light there. The other thing that I wanted to verbalize and mention to you guys also is that it's okay to verbalize this stuff. These planets are working in relation to us and helping us kind of decide, you know, that some of that stuff from the past that no one heard, well, now we're finally going to get heard. And, you know, when we have the new moon in Scorpio, it's kind of telling us that this can be a volatile energy. This can be an energy that kind of stirs people up. This can be an energy where all of a sudden you're fighting with a partner and you're not sure why, but there's some things that you've been suppressing that you really need to bring to light for that relationship to grow. And so, you know, there's a lot of things to be had right now in this Scorpio energy, but expect it to be really intense. It's going to be. For those of you that go, I say, under the radar a lot, well, you won't have that opportunity now because Scorpio is going to make you deal with some of those suppressed emotions and some of those things that you didn't really want to talk about. And so the other thing is Sunday morning is going to be challenging in action because we've got Mars, and that Mars is slow but sure in Saturn as they push us forward. And so we'll be feeling like two mules stuck behind a hoe, just kind of just barely getting through the dirt. It's going to be super thick and it's going to feel not so good. But at the end of that, I say at the end of that plow, you're going to feel a lightness there. You're going to feel a confidence in your identity as a human and knowing that it's not good to suppress these emotions. It's not good to take that underside of passivity and not be able to voice our truth. You know, there's things that have to be said sometimes, and this is that energy that's going to open up the door to set that platform for you to be able to talk about those things that you didn't talk about before. Maybe there was something in your relationship that has conspired over the last few years and you've been suppressing and you just don't like that anymore. Well, some of those things are going to get verbalized this weekend. And hopefully you guys can be kind enough to know that those talks are going to be circumvented around love, because we do have Taurus here, and Taurus is going to push forth that loving and nurturing and compassionate space for us to be able to voice that truth without having that judgment. Although there will be those other situations where, well, you know, depending on who you're voicing your truth to, you know, maybe it'll cause a bad reaction. I'm not sure about that, but you only know moving forward as to what you need to let go of and what you need to voice. And so no more suppressing all of those emotions anymore. You guys don't have an opportunity to suppress that stuff that's been bothering you since 3 years ago. That stuff's coming to light and we get to deal with it, and it's going to make our relationships grow. It's going to make us have a stronger relationship with ourselves, because then we can come out. If we have something we need to verbalize, well, that truth can come out and we're not going to be scared and suppressing that emotion. So that's the benefit here. Let me look on my notes one more time, because there's a lot of information here that I, you know, really, I kind of sat with this before I decided to do this, video because, we're moving into a Mercury retrograde on the 31st of October, and this goes all the way until November 20th. So not only do we get to let go of passivity, we get to express our emotions, we get to be nurtured in that space and not judged, but we also have that energy system that's going to pull all that stuff out of the way. And so when we have the Mercury retrograde, people start freaking out. They're like, now we have a Mercury retrograde on top of all this intense emotion. Well, yeah, because that's that energy system that's going to pull those emotions, pull all that stuff that's not in your highest best. This stuff doesn't align with you, so that's why you have to deal with it. And so this weekend is going to be that push. It's going to be that shove for you to be able to be in that truth space that you've always wanted to be, and not be in a place of feeling like you're being deceitful because you can't voice something that really, really is close to your heart that you really need to get out. So I say be very compassionate with yourselves, you guys. This Mercury retrograde, I tell people, don't be scared of Mercury retrogrades. They're the stuff, they're the that pulls this stuff out of here and says, get out of here. I don't need this anymore. This isn't serving me. This isn't right for me. This isn't correct. So one more little detail here. So we're going to have to identify that we're having a death of ego, death of hate, death of control, death of lies and deceit. And so if you felt like maybe you possibly were being deceitful by not expressing some emotions about something that's been bothering you, well, there's the death of that. You get that opportunity not to be in a space of ego or deceit, but free will that's more vibrant, that's more pure. And so you get to have those perfect situations where it allows others to connect with you on an emotional level. I feel like I need to say one more thing and elaborate this a little bit, because, Scorpio tends to be a rebellious planet, and when it's rebellious, it's that whole little idea of like, I don't want you to tell me what to do. That's what Scorpio does. It says, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry, but I'm going to be the teenager here, and I'm going to say, no, that's not correct for me, and I need to let go of this. Whatever I've been harboring, I need to let go of this, because maybe I can't get to the next level of my higher state of consciousness is what we're all trying to reach right now. So that's why these planetary systems are coming in the way that they are, and they're starting off, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio for the month of November. Also, we are in the final phase of Jupiter, and it's in the fire sign of Sagittarius this month, and it reminds us that we need to magnify our energy, that we need to come into light and start taking on some of these things that we have created as far as judgment with ourselves. And also creating that voice within us that is able to take those constructive criticisms that we give ourselves all the time. I say when there's these intense emotions happening, we do get an opportunity to correct the relationship that we do have with ourselves. I say, it doesn't really hurt so bad when somebody else is judging you, but when you're judging yourself, you're a total belief system around that. So, Jupiter also coming into Scorpio the month of November, we get to change some of those factors. We get to allow ourselves to be in a more comfortable space. The month of November is also going to be a little speedy. It's also going to pull us into, a lot more of those energy systems of Scorpio, so that we can handle our business. We haven't been handling our business, and we've been doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome, and that's not how this works. We've got to go inside. We're dealing with this 5D energy that asks us to come within. If you're outside there trying to seek things outside the body, well, you're not dealing or handling your business. And Scorpio is going to make you handle that business that you've been putting on the back burner. And so for those of you that are interested in what the love side of this is going to be, and I say more boundaries, this is going to create healthy boundaries within your relationships so that you can be on the same page as that significant other or your beloved. And, you know, understanding where their hurts and pains are, how they, you know, what their love language is, and how to be more compassionate and loving towards our partners. You know, Taurus is that planet of Venus, and it is the planet of love. And so it's going to help us to reconcile some of those emotions and set up those platforms for us to be able to be in a higher state of consciousness and being more loving and compassionate towards our partners or the relationships that we find ourselves in. So very, very important energy. Try to stay neutral tonight. Try to stay neutral tomorrow. Things are going to happen. Unexpected's going to happen. Maybe Sally, the gal that never spoke about anything ever, is just going to come unglued this weekend. We don't know, but we know that there is a system that's moving all these emotions for us to deal with. And so expect the unexpected. There's going to be some weird stuff. I'm telling you right now. When we have Scorpio, we got Taurus. Taurus tends to be bullheaded, so it's going to make you love where you didn't want to love before, or bring up some space to reconcile. If there's a person from your past that you need to reconcile with and you need to create that closure with them, well, the planet of Taurus and the planet of Scorpio is going to allow you that closure, allow you to speak those things that you never spoke before, and give you the opportunity to be in that space so that you can engage that other person if you're scared to approach them about any emotions that you may be harboring. So lots of great stuff to be had here. As we move into this Halloween season, things are going to shift. Things are moving, you know. The veil is halfway down the month of October. So we do have help from the other side. There are, you know, lots of things to be had before the end of the year. And we just really need to hold tight and ground ourselves and try not to get so upset about things that are from the past. They're the past. They're not yours. Let go of them. Surrender to something greater than yourself. Know that every time you let go of something, that you make space for new beginnings. You make space for opportunities and prosperity and abundance to come into your life. You know, even though we're still holding a lot of these emotional systems towards even the past partners, we still need to identify that we've got to let go. This pain and suffering from those relationships is actually affecting our life path. This is life force energy that we're messing with here, and we've got to clear out the space for all the good to come in. You know, we are also in the space of love, so there could be people out there that have been trying to manifest their significant other, their partner, their intended one, their beloved. And so it's going to create that space in your life so those people can come in if that's what you want. So identify that with yourself. Understand that there's work to be done here, and this is internal work. If you're thinking that you got to go out here and spend all this money on all these trainings, well, that's good to a point. But this energy is asking you to go within. It's asking you to be reverent to the fact that there's emotions in there that you're still holding, and that's creating blocks in your life for love, career, healthy boundaries, and in any relationship. So allow yourself that space of healing, because Scorpio is going to give it to us. It is the understanding planet that says, deal with your stuff so you can heal. This is a healing time. So moving into fall, moving into the winter, putting our feet into the ground and creating this space of freedom within so that we can acknowledge that we are higher beings, we are divine beings, and we're full of love. And if we express ourselves towards love, towards ourselves first, then the rest of the world is going to understand that love and vibrate in connection to that love that we're putting out. So try to stay loving to yourself, number one. Number two is understand that you're going to be really emotional. So the next few days, this is going to be a power punch of emotions. So that's why I wanted to put this video out, to let you guys know that if you're losing your mind and you're like, why am I crying all the time? Why am I emotional in the last few days? Well, thank you, Scorpio. Thank you, planet Taurus, for giving us the opportunity to deal with those emotions in a loving, more kind way towards ourselves. So I hope a couple of these things helped. In the next couple days, I'll be doing an October reading, and it's going to kind of dive into November and kind of give you guys an idea of what's to come and what to expect for the holidays. They're right around the corner. You know, it seems like Halloween just got here, and things are speeding up. And so all these planetary systems are working in connection for us, not to us, but for us, so that we can go to a higher plane, to the next level of our lives, so that we can implement as much love and compassion and understanding towards the world and towards ourselves than we could have ever imagined. So enjoy this planetary system that you're going through, and try to stay as neutral as possible. And if there's a moment where you feel like you need to cry, well, you go take that space and you cry it out, and you get it out of there, and you heal from whatever's been ailing you. So just that quick video to give you guys some love and hug and understanding, and know that you're okay in this system. And yeah, it's going to be a rough ride. It's going to be one of those times where you get up at the top of the roller coaster and you're looking down. And that's okay. There's work to be done. There's healing to be done. So pat yourself on the back and know that you're okay, and that you're fully supported by the universe. And all these things are happening for you to have a better life and to have a higher state of consciousness. That's what we're doing. We're raising the collective right now so that we can be better in every aspect of our life. So receive it and understand that it's for you. Okay, I hope that this was a good video, and like I said, in the next couple days I'll be putting out another video for my card reading for the month of November, moving, or I'm sorry, the month of October moving into the month of November. Okay, have a blessed day, and for those of you going to Halloween parties, stay safe out there. Don't overindulge, because you might find yourself in too thick of an emotional space if you do that. So have a great day. Namaste, and blessings to you all. Take care.